Welcome into the In the Money podcast, the last one for 2017 for Saturday, December 30th at Santa Anita. I'm Tom Leach, along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting. And Jim, we will take a look at the Grade 1 American Oaks and then give folks a late pick 4 ticket for Santa Anita. There is a stake, well, there's two other stakes on the card. The Grade 3 Midnight Loot will be part of the pick 4 that we'll talk about. And then there's a Frankel Stakes that has a small field earlier in the card.
Yeah, the horse called Pin Jade is probably going to be the favorite in there. I read that Ortiz comes in to ride for Chad Brown. It's only a 6-horse field, so they moved it out of the late pick 4. It happens to be the first leg of the pick 6, though, as Santa Anita's got a carryover. They're running Friday, so I'm not sure if they'll have a carryover or not, but that may be a single for you to pick 6 with the one horse there.
Well, this American Oaks was where we'll start. It's Grade 1 for 3-year-old fillies going 1.25 miles on the turf. It's the 7th race, second leg of that late pick 4. Used to be in the summer. And now they've got it positioned here at the end of the year, so it's a last chance for 3-year-old fillies to stay in their own age group. And you've got some good ones in here that have kept some good company this year. Who did you land on for the Oaks?
Yeah, let's see if I can lose a little more money on Daddy's Little Darling. I haven't lost enough in 2017 on her. She's run well, but she's only got one win in 2017. But she ran her eyeballs out in the QE2 at Keeneland, and just couldn't get there. Couldn't beat La Cornell at Keeneland. That's kind of like trying to beat the Cats in Rupp Arena. So,
yeah, ran well in the Kentucky Oaks.
She did, and I think she's got a real shot at getting her Grade 1 here. And she's been so close. She ran, she almost won the Ashland, she almost won the Oaks, and she almost won the QE2. She had a great year for only really one win in 2017, but she's made almost $1 million. I'm going to take her here. The Churchill. Mrs. Revere, I thought she was a good bet that day, but she didn't like the yielding track, I think. So I think she's gonna like the 1.25 miles. She's gonna like the firm track at Santa Anita. First time out there, so I'm not sure she ran the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies on the dirt out there, but she hasn't run on the turf. So I'll give her a shot in here, but I don't think she's a single. I think New Money Honey, you've got to look at her because she's been there on the turf. She won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf back in 2016. And she's been good since then. What I'm thinking is Daddy's Little Darling might be getting a little bit better, and maybe New Money Honey hit her peak she got her Grade 1 in the Belmont Oaks back in July. So I think you got to use her in the pick 4, but I'm going to say Daddy's Little Darling is going to be my pick in here. The other horse that you can't throw out is Rimska, the 8-horse for Chad Brown. The other Chad Brown horse in here that may have moved past New Money Honey. She's gotten really good with 3 straight wins, including a $150,000 stakes race at Aqueduct last time out. Looks like she'll like to stretch out too, because one of her best races was the Commonwealth Oaks at 1.8 miles at Laurel. So she's won 3 races on 3 different racetracks as she goes back to Santa Anita. So she may have moved past New Money Honey, and you might get a better price because of the lack of name recognition. So I'm going to use those 3 in the pick 4, but Daddy's Little Darling, I'm going to try one more time in 2017.
Well, let's first let me give you my Oaks pick, and it's going to be New Money Honey. I like the fact that she's won at 1.25 miles in a Grade 1, and you mentioned she'd won at Santa Anita. And Chad Brown off the layoff is always strong, and I just like the work pattern. But every week she's been just going steady, solid works, and off a bit of a extended layoff here. I think he's going to have her cranked for a big effort. Daddy's Little Darling, Rimska. Beau Recall is the other one I might use in exactas, but I'm going to key off New Money Honey, and I'm going to use her and Daddy's Little Darling in the pick 4 that starts in the 6th race. It's a non-winners of 1 allowance at 1.16 miles on the dirt. I went 5 deep in here. Avante Bello, the 9, is a horse for Doug O'Neill that has 4 wins at Santa Anita. Sheer Flattery, the 10, Hollendorfer and Smith is a strong combo. Christie's Capelot, the 6. For Greater Glory, the 3, I think is a little bit interesting. And then Beaumarchais, the 5. So 9, 10, 6, 3, 5 in that order of preference for me. 7th race, I'm using New Money Honey and Daddy's Little Darling. If you have the budget to add Rimska, I think that's certainly the next one I would go to. And I'm not real comfortable leaving her off the ticket, but trying to keep it affordable. So I'm going to choose 2 there. In the 8th, the Grade 3 Midnight Loot. Masochistic makes his first start for Baffert. Training great, 4 wins at Santa Anita. So That's a lot to like for me. Americanized, though, I'm also going to use. So 4 and 5. And then in the last race, 25K Claimer at a mile on the turf. David Jacobson coming in from New York with a couple horses, the 12 Louisville and the 7 Orino. I'm going to use both of those. Airlight would probably be my win pick on the drop down for Mandela. Urban Bourbon, just because DeSormo rides. He really rides that turf course well, so I like that one. The 13, who has to draw in and also has DeSormo named. I'm not sure the pronunciation, Banze, no, and then Oestre. So 10, 12, 7, 11, 13, probably one of those will scratch, and if that's the case, you could maybe add Rimska to that 7th race, but I'm going to go 5 by 2 by 2 by 5. How about you?
I'm going to say there's a real good chance if one of us hits it, both of us are going to hit it because we're almost identical on our tickets. And as we've spoken before, we don't talk about this before we get together. I did go one deeper in the first leg. I think I used a 4-horse Camino de Estrella that you did not use, but I went 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. And I think for greater glory, the shipper for Jacobson is probably my win bet in there. But I would go 6 deep to try to get the pick 4 started. In the American Oaks, I would use the 3 that I talked about, which is the 4, 8, 9, Daddy's Little Darling, New Money Honey, and Rimska. And then I'm going to go with the same 2 that you went with in the Midnight Loot. I think Masochistic and Americanized get you through that leg. I can't see anybody else winning besides the 4 and the 5 there. And in the last leg, I had the same thoughts. I think Louis Bale is the best horse in there. Didn't win any part of the off-turf last time out. The 3 races prior to that would probably win this. So Louis Bale 12 is my win pick in there. But I'm going to use Orino the 7, Airlight the 10, along with the 12, and then whichever 2, if the 2 draw in, I think Conquest Sabercat at the 14. If he draws in, he's got a shot. So I would go 7, 10, 12 there, but I've got a parenthesis around the 13, 14. So my pick 4 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 with 4, 8, 9 with 4, 5 with 7, 10, 12, and that's $60. I would use the 13 and 14 if they draw in there if you can afford it.
Well, best of luck with your Saturday wagers and finishing 2017 on an uptick, and then we'll be back to start out the 2018 edition of the In the Money podcast for the next time we get together. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach, and this is the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.